Hello to all, this is Fred from Pixel for Fiction. I hope you are well. Today I wanted to show you how you can perfectly adapt an outfit designed for a generally neutral base format, and which has quite unexpected results as soon as you want to make it worn by a character with a more important musculature. As you know, all Pixel for Fiction outfits for character creator are usually created with the basic neutral base avatar, and usually the transition between different characters is seamless with character creator 4. However, as soon as you want to change your character with a special morphology, a neck, shoulders, and arms more generous, for example, you encounter problems of adaptation, especially on these pots. It's quite boring, and it's not what we're looking for. Let's take an example. We are going to a character with a very muscular shape. I chose today Caleb. Moreover, he has a beautiful head of doughboys. Now let's open our Doug Boys Overseas outfit pack. I place the pants, the leggings, the shoes with the opacity map, the hat. I now move on to the jacket, which is marked by CC4 as a garment. And there, unfortunately, we quickly realize that something is wrong. Already, the top button is totally deformed. Those of the collar look bad. The epaulettes are also in a sad state. That's not what we want at all, and I'm sure you agree with me. We could explain the cause in part. Caleb has a rather imposing neck compared to our basic neutral avatar. His shoulders are more prominent. He has a stronger bone structure and more imposing muscles. The deformation is therefore not standardized. You will also notice that the buttons are very detailed, with a mesh a little denser than the jacket itself. In cinema, during a dialogue, it is not uncommon to have a close-up of the face. Having an equivalent level of detail in your outfits to the rest of the body is important. Otherwise, you risk having a visual contrast that is too striking. The details on rather banal objects like buttons is an advantage in no 3D, but also a disadvantage. Part of the button mesh is drawn up, while the others are squashed. To make up for this, we could use the available tools such as working on the skin weight. This could take time, with a result that is sometimes negligible since the morphology in certain places is totally different. The simplest thing would be to start from scratch and design a special suit for strong morphologies. But Character Creator really allows us to avoid this. Since I don't want to waste your time with laborious rectifications with the skin weight tool, I thought it would be better to offer you another solution. I will try to be brief, especially since the technique is relatively simple and can be broken down into 4 steps without any difficulty. Enough chatter. Step 1. Add the accessory jacket with morphs. Here's Caleb, who's pouting because his jacket is in a sad state. Now open the Doug Boys Overseas outfit pack. You will see a pose named Relax. Select Caleb. Now double-click on the Relax pose provided in the pack. This is the pose that we use to create the clothes, and we need Caleb to have the exact same posture before we cut him a custom jacket. Then we see another instance of a jacket, which is not marked as a garment, but as an accessory. Click twice. It appears on Caleb a little out of place. This is normal. It is an accessory that is linked only to one part of the body and does not dress as clothing the whole body. Use the transformation gizmos to adjust the jacket and only the Y and Z values, either depth or height. Before you do this, make sure your character has its transformation values set to 0. This will make our job easier. Don't waste time trying to place perfectly the jacket. Just make sure that the hands are correctly centered in the sleeves, and that the shoulders of the garment are on the same level. That's the main thing. Don't worry about the fact that some of Caleb's prominent body parts are sticking out of the jacket at this point. This is normal. The jacket accessory has been sized for a basic neutral size. Once you've made a few adjustments, select the jacket and go to the Modify panel. In the Morph tab, you will see the sliders for transforming the jacket. Start with neck. Make sure that the collar extends slightly beyond the neck towards the front. At this point, you'll see a few buttons disappear. Forget about them for now. We'll come back to them later. And it will be a breeze to make them reappear. We will then make some adjustments to the sleeves. Well, at this point, I think you have understood that L means left and R means right. The hands seem to be falling off the sleeves a bit. Select Caleb, Modify Panel and Motion Pose tab, then click on Edit Pose. Very gently adjust the hands to get them off the sleeves. Don't worry about the rest. Just focus on the hands while trying to century charm on each sleeve, even if Caleb's body is sticking out of the sleeves. Go back to the jacket, click Morphify panel and then Morphs. Now let's do the shoulders. The idea is to adapt the jacket to Caleb's height. Without trying to make his whole body disappear under the garment, you'll see, we'll find a solution for that. Let's look at the back. For me, at this stage, it is useless to go further. The main thing is done. The jacket now has the correct proportions of Caleb's body without undergoing unwanted transformations. And except for some parts of the body that are sticking out at the folds and the back, all the extremities of the garment, that is to say the neck, the sleeves and the bottom hems of the garment are properly proportioned, and we feel now that under the jacket, there is an athlete's body. Now we make character creator work. Click on the jacket. In the Attribute tab of the Modify panel, you will click on Transfert Skin Weights. 204 will ask you to merge the jacket and the buttons. For me, it's okay. Say yes. In the pop-up that appears, choose File rather than a template. We'll save ourselves the laborious work session on the weights. I told you it was pretty easy. We are looking for the file in the public documents, Reallusion, Reallusion Custom, Cloth, Coat. Then the directory Pixel for Fiction and the directory named US 1917 Doughboys. Otherwise, type directly in the search bar the file CC Cloth named 1917 Infantry Coat. Once found, click on Open. We return to the pop-up that awaits our orders and then validate your choice. Congratulations! Step 1 is now finished. It was the longest. Now we'll have some fun. Step 2. Hide Body Mesh Tool. Consider at present Caleb. If we forget the few parts of the body that protrude, we can say that the jacket has another look. It is wider of shoulder and the sleeves have thickened. Overall, there is no need to conform the jacket. With this procedure, however, textural distortions may appear and they are not always pleasant to look at. I prefer another solution. As I have had a long career in audio-visual and film creation, I can tell you that in this world, only illusion counts and only recreating the illusion of reality counts. What really counts is what will pass in the field of your camera and nothing else. The rest, everything that lives in the off-camera, is not to be taken into account, and fortunately, everything that is hidden is therefore out of sight, invisible. To bother with it is above all to create unexpected results and to generate a totally useless waste of time. Now let's fix this detail. Select the jacket, go to the Attribute tab and at the bottom, choose Hide Body Mesh Tool. Go to Advanced, select the Mirror function. and start by cleaning the parts of Caleb's body that are theoretically hidden by the jacket, leaving some room at the ends of the garment. Now let's take the brush tool, increase the radius of the brush, and make sure it's in its hide function. Let's take care of some details like the sleeves without going to the ends. We must leave the appearance of reality. Then, take care of the neck and shoulders. Here it is. I think we have almost the original jacket for the neutral model but without the confirmation artifacts. Perfect. Let's move on to step 3. Step 3. The buttons. I said it was perfect, but it's still missing something. The kind of detail I like the buttons. But we're going to make them reappear very easily by merging the meshes. We have also made another set of morphs appear. Click on the jacket to see and go to the Morphs tab. You will notice that there are now sliders that start with BT. BT for button. Go to the search bar and type BT. Then, adjust the two named collar right and left. You see, it's quite simple. The other button is chest stay. Make him take his place. I think the ones on the shoulders need a little boost too. Yeah. But now we have a problem. I'm going to save you the trouble of looking for shoulder pad sliders. It's time to show you another technique that is just as simple as this one. And it's even my favorite one to use. Select the jacket, modify panel, tab attributes, and edit mesh. Click on element. Select the button of the shoulder pad. Make sure your gizmo is in local mode. Move your button slightly. I admit that it didn't really need to be moved, but Caleb confessed to me that he was a big stickler. Until the last shirt button, and we are only his humble tailor. That's it. It's over, finally. But I said there were 4 steps. In fact, the last step is the verification, and the last minor adjustments. Step 4. Final checks and adjustments. Select Caleb this time, and give him a fairly tense pose. The templates provided by Character Creator 4 are numerous. Let's start with an open neck and see what it gives. Overall, it's not too bad, and it could have been worse. But we can see that the shoulders are not very much in line with reality and that there are some artifacts in the mesh. Let's see. Select your jacket. Modify panel. Attribute stab and then click Skin Weights. Using the powerful Smooth tool, give a very low force value of 0.1, a medium radius, and a fall off of about 70. Start by selecting the bones in the center. And make those horrible mesh distortions disappear by first using the Smooth tool by selecting the bones in the center, then the bones on the collarbones, shoulders, etc. The principle of skin weight is simple. The body of your character is subdivided into bones. These are the little sticks you see there. These bones exert an influence on the mesh of your clothing or your accessory. This influence is characterized by colors. As a reminder, know that the warmer the color is yellow, orange, red, white, the stronger the attraction. That is to say that you must imagine your bone as someone who would hold you in his arms, in red or white. Let's say that the bone holds you tightly. The color cools down green, blue, or becomes null. Then the bone decreases its influence or does not act at all on the colored part of the mesh. For example, in green, it holds you by the arm, in blue, barely by the hand. And when there is no more color, the bone has dropped you. So each of these bones or group of bones exerts an attraction on your garment, while giving it a certain flexibility. Let's take for example the epaulettes. It's not very nice at this stage, and it's even not very glorious deformation for who is going to receive nice NCO or officer stripes. Let's select the bone clavicle. To see the attraction effects, let's use the add mode, but always with a low strain and weight value and a radius as wide as the shoulder pad. As you gradually reach the hottest value, you can see that the shoulder pad is totally slave to the shoulder. That's good. But you can see that it is totally detached from the jacket. And that is not what we want. But I can see that Caleb is getting tired. Let's give him a more comfortable pose. We will therefore give the epaulette clavicle pair a fairly strong, uniform force that orders the clavicle bone to have at least 80% control over the epaulette. Switch to replace mode. Specify a strain value of 1 and a weight value of 0.8. Paint the whole part of your shoulder pad with the button with this value. Then select the central bone, which is, in my opinion, the center of gravity of the skin weights. Give a value of 0.2 to the weight. Then paint the shoulder pads. I think you have now understood the principle. It is a game of attraction and repulsion. For the shoulder pads, the collarbone retains 80% of the control, while Caleb's central body retains 20%. But let's see if this is really the right balance. It's almost perfect. You really need to perfect the movement and to balance, if you wish, the shoulder pads with other bones in a more discreet way. But I wanted to explain the relationship between the two forces. But with experience, you will see that there are 3, 4 or even 5 forces that will apply to your garment. On the other hand, we see that Caleb's neck has now pierced the clothes. No need to get out the invisibility brush. It's better to keep some margin at the ends. You have two options: either use the skin weights or work more precisely on the mesh. I chose the second option. Modify panel, attributes, and choose edit mesh. The sculpt option and the pull mode. But be careful. You have to handle this tool with a lot of precaution. Here I recommend a very low intensity value, about 0.15, and a radius not bigger than a mesh triangle. Approach the vertex where you can see a part of Caleb's neck, and start slowly applying your brush strokes. Stop as soon as Caleb's skin disappears. This is because you are not only acting on the mesh of the jacket, but also on its texture. And undesirable results can occur if you use this tool intensively, which should be used very soberly. Let's make Caleb walk around with his jacket. There, it's almost perfect, except that Caleb is a stickler for perfection. It's best to check with him for the final adjustment details since you know almost everything. I see just one annoying detail. It's the military pants. The whole top interferes with the mesh of the jacket. It's in fact the belt loops that cause this overtaking. Maybe we should have increased the size of the jacket at that part. However, in reality, when your jacket is worn and adjusted to your waist with a belt, it kind of crushes your clothes below. Let's focus on the general shape of Caleb. Notwithstanding this visual inconvenience of the pants that protrude, we see that the proportions are well preserved at Caleb's waist. Let's opt for a solution that will preserve this. Let's click on the pants, modify panel, and edit mesh. This time, we will use the masking tool, sculpt tab, and brush type, show mesh. Let's use the hide mode. With a medium-sized brush, quickly erase the part that is invisible when the jacket is worn. Now we can say that everything is almost perfect. There is one more thing, the belt. Since it fits over the original garment, I don't think it's going to understand this new outfit very well. What are we going to do? I'm tired. Okay, the belt and the leggings also have morphs that will allow you to quickly and easily adjust these elements to Caleb's muscular frame. I'll let you have fun with it. That was Fred from Pixel for Fiction. Even though English is not my first language, I hope I have made it as clear as possible. I wish you a great creation with Character Creator and the Reallusion software suite. Take care and see you soon.